What is Lovecraft Country? Lovecraft Country is escapism, at least at first. It shows us that despite our struggles and the constant unfairness of the world, that our outlets are precious, worth more than gold. Even in a world where the only outlets immediately available are ones that were created without us in mind.
You said the hero was a Confederate officer.
Ex-Confederate.
He fought for slavery. You don't get to put an X in front of that.
Stories are like people. Love them doesn't make them perfect. You just try and cherish them, overlook their flaws.
Yeah, but the flaws are still there.
Yeah, they are.
It's a blessing in disguise, really, because once we reach the point of being tired of not seeing ourselves in said outlet, we now have the courage and the creativity to make our own. Lovecraft Country is history. It's a way of displaying a time not that far in the past and what needed to be done in order to ensure the safety of our people and display the dangers that still awaited them. The time of our grandparents and great-grandparents who sacrificed their very lives to make sure that we could navigate the country without the risk of a noose around our necks or a gun at our heads. A risk that, no matter what was done to avoid these outcomes, was still a dangerous trek to make. Lovecraft Country is the needs of the many over the needs of the few or the one. It's the sacrifice one chooses to make in the ongoing fight for equality and the right to live. It's swallowing the bitter pill of having to choose freedom over family, making the decision to be a resource for those choosing to do what it takes to produce change because the ones you love are either too comfortable, too selfish, or, more than likely, too scared to extend their hands to no one else but that of their own kin.
Howdy. It's family business. It's not ours.
Lovecraft Country is horror, but not the kind of horror you expect. One would consider the eldritch monsters that make their way onto the screen to be the source of it all, but they're not. Despite their creator, those monsters are predictable. They have their own rules. While they exist in the universe the story takes place in, so does another monster. One that, while is just as susceptible as we are to the abominations adapted from his stories, are more dangerous to us than the likes of Shoggoth, Dagon, or Cthulhu itself. Because despite there being rules in play, these monsters don't need a reason to hunt you. Their predictability is naturally inconsistent and is an evil that has both grown and evolved years after the time frame of this story. What is Lovecraft Country? Lovecraft Country is a work of fiction that takes the famous creations made by one of the most hateful and bigoted men of early 20th century America and molds around them a narrative that provides a form of escapism for those that he hated. It allows those of us in the past who have found escapism in works that were not meant for us to properly see ourselves, while also acknowledging the real life horror we experience day after day after day. It's the constant grip of fear of never knowing where the traditional terror ends and the supernatural terror begins. Hell, sometimes it's not being able to tell the difference. Most of the time, it's not being able to tell the difference. So, what is Lovecraft Country? Lovecraft Country is America.